I've never been called it before, so it's surprising.
whenever event control say. So it will all depend on what's going on stadium due to close at 3:15, but that will depend on the number of public kids here.
it's mixed soon after, apart from those who can't, obviously. I'm back at my desk now, okay?
you want to do the honours?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Renée. When Arsenal played Barcelona a couple of years ago, Jan Seidelberg was talking about, really prepared for Barcelona's quality, prepared thoroughly, but sometimes the players need to be on the pitch to feel it and see it. And it felt a bit like maybe the first 30 minutes. Do you think, obviously Arsenal recovered really well from that, but that first 30 minutes Arsenal really had to hang in there. Do you think perhaps Lyon's quality and their intensity was a bit of a shock in that opening bit?
Yeah, you'll have to ask the players, but I don't think it was a shock, but of course it's very high level opposition, so the tempo is higher, and you'll get punished if you make mistakes, and I think we had to settle into the game and create a belief while we were playing, and I think that shows in the way we come out in the second half and how we play our game, even though we're playing against a really strong opponent with so much threat, that we have the courage and the bravery to play our game. And so yeah, we grow into the game from that perspective, and I think in that period against an opposition like Lyon with so much threat, I think when we then have momentum, we need to score, and that's what we do in the end. But yeah, we probably should have scored at least one more in that phase of the game, while you're at home at the Emirates against such a strong opponent. So, and then we worked really hard to get that goal, and then it was disappointing that they score very quickly afterwards, because then we're chasing the game again. But yeah, it's halftime, and it's 1 goal down, so we still have the opportunities when we play them next week.
And in terms of what you said at half-time, there were signs of recovery, I think, the end of the first half, but your half-time team talk, what kind of details did you change to bring out that improved performance in the second half?
Yeah, so some details in what we wanted to look for on the pitch in possession, and doing it with a little bit more tempo to create bigger spaces. And then out of possession, we needed to find some solutions for how they position themselves in their build phase.
Thanks, Tim. James.
Renée, were the players surprised at all about, I know Tim referred to it a little bit, but the intensity that Lyon started the game with in particular?
Like I said, I haven't spoken to the players yet. I don't think so, but I think playing against Lyon with these, specifically these 3 forwards on the pitch, it's something that we haven't faced this season yet, and so that was one to, like you said, you have to experience it to be able to find the solution, and I think what was strong of the team was that we needed to settle in the game, and it took us some time, but then we did it, and we found the solutions, and the courage and the belief started to grow, and the solutions on how we stopped them, and of course we prepared for that. It's not that it was a surprise for us. We knew what we were going to face, and the players knew exactly that this was the threat we needed to stop. And but I'm happy in the way we grow into the game, and especially then the phase in the second half where we dominate.
And knowing that, and knowing how that felt for the players, certainly on the pitch, does that put you in a stronger position now going into the second leg?
Yeah, hopefully. We know exactly what we're playing against next week, but the same will count for Lyon.
Thanks, James. Kit.
Hi, Renée. You kind of alluded to maybe Arsenal missing a few chances, perhaps maybe you could have scored more in a game. How do you essentially become more clinical for the second leg next week? Is it anything technical you can do? Is it psychological? How do you take more opportunities?
So I think what's been a big strength of us as a team is that we are ruthless, and that we find ways to score a lot of goals. So I don't think just after this game that we start to doubt ourselves in that area on how capable we are. But of course we're gonna have a look at, is there even more specific things we can do in the final third to create bigger chances. But I think a couple of chances we create are really good. So we find good setups on the pitch. So we're gonna find the details for next week, definitely.
You obviously have some time to prepare for it, but aside from maybe being a bit more clinical, is there anything major you feel that's what we need to do better in next week to get a different result at this stage?
I think everything we expected the game to be. It turned out the way we expected today. So it's about, and I think, of course, we now look at the two fast attacks where they score from, where we concede from. But I think so many times we stop it early and really well as well. So, but the learning is you need to do it consistently without any slips over 90 minutes, because otherwise, if a team like Lyon gets 1, 2, 3 chances, they will punish you.
Let's get one or two more. Helen?
Yes. Renée, I think sort of thinking glass half full, like you say, it's halfway through now, we've got another tie. And it feels to me like playing Lyon away is not as scary as maybe playing other teams away, because their support isn't like Arsenal's support, etc., etc. And also it feels like maybe 2-1 isn't too bad a result, considering Diani in the first half was just like electric, no one could sort of touch her. It feels to me like maybe that's not such a bad result.
I think we're not happy with the result because, like I said, we did really well finally getting the equaliser, and that was the least we wanted. And after that goal, we felt like we could potentially score another one. So I think as the game turned out, especially in the second half, a draw or a win was what we went for. So, but yeah, I think Arsenal has done it before against Lyon away. Has won with big numbers, so it's going to be a pitch, 11v11, good grass, and we have all the opportunities to win that game next week.
And do you think, because you've got another 7 days before the next one, or is it 8 days, and so maybe there'll be more, some of the players who weren't quite maybe 100% fit today might be fit by next Sunday?
Yeah, that will definitely help. But if they wouldn't have been fit, they wouldn't be in the squad today, so they were ready to play. But we're going to use these 7-8 days in an optimal way to get ready for Sunday.
Also, Stina looked really sharp when she came on as well.
Yeah, so Stina has been doing really well for us, as so many other players.
Excellent. Last one up.
Hi Renée. You mentioned the Lyon game from a couple of years ago. Just there, I was wondering, because the squad's quite similar, is there much you can take from, I guess, watching that game back and using that for your preparation?
Yeah, it is similar, and they have similar players, but I think so much has changed in those years as well. So not too much from a tactical point of view, but definitely from a psychological point of view, and knowing that if you go there, you can do something, and Arsenal's done it before and won with 5-1, I think. So, but yeah, this is going to be a different scenario. Of course, Lyon are happy with the 2-1 here, and they will do everything they can to protect that lead. So it's going to be a very difficult game, but we're going to go there and believe that we can do something.
Awesome. We'll leave it there, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
she played, but she was
I was very disappointed you weren't here yesterday, by the way. Very disappointed. Hello, everybody. Bonjour. Bonjour à tous.
Bonjour à tous, bienvenue à la conférence de presse d'après-match avec Joe Montemurro.
Hi everyone,
Je
welcome
vous
to the
demanderai
press
juste
conference
de
with
préciser
Joe
le média
Montemurro.
avant de
Please
poser vos
state
questions,
your
s'il vous plaît.
this
Merci.
one's on.
outlet before.
I don't think this one's on. Is this one? Non fonctionnaire?
There is a phone who is not... It's okay.
Non. Ok. Pas bon.
Is it a very good result today for Lyon when we see the second half?
Well, it was an advantage. So we have an advantage going to Lyon. Second half, for 22 minutes, Arsenal gave us a lot of difficulty and had probably two very, very good chances. But I'm not sure there are many people that come to this iconic stadium against the big team, a very good team with 40,000 people and expecting not to suffer a little bit. We suffered, and in the end, it balanced itself out.
Hi Joe. I think like most teams, good teams even leave spaces somewhere, and I think if you watch Arsenal a lot, the left back space is some a space they kind of leave quite a bit. Was that something you targeted in the first half, or am I overthinking it? When you have a player like Diani, things are just going to happen on that side.
Tim, your tactical awareness always seems to surprise me because we knew Katie McCabe would be probably one that would advance a little bit more, and we left. You know me well, though. You know my little bits and pieces. Look, I told Kadi to stay a little bit higher in the situation, and then we saw after about 16, 17 minutes that Katie wasn't going forward, and that's where we found a lot more space in midfield. Look, with a team like Arsenal that they create a lot of overloads, especially in wide areas, we have to make sure that there's a little bit of patience, and you've got to give them the ball a little bit, and then sort of look at the second phase as closing spaces, and then go. So that was a little bit of the game plan. And it's not going to be the game plan next week, so don't tell Renee.
Hi Joe. Well done on your win today. Obviously your side showed a very strong performance against Arsenal, but how does it feel to be back at the Emirates and back at your old club?
I had 4 wonderful years here and made a lot of friends, and it's an iconic club. It was. I had to keep it professional. But I'm just astounded at 40,000 people at the Emirates. A beautiful game of football, a spectacle. That's what I'm so pleased about. I'm so pleased that since I left, that there's been 3-4 years of just amazing growth, and that to me gives me pleasure to see this iconic club at the top level, competing for trophies, competing for the best, and playing the brand of football in front of 40,000 people.
Hi, Joe.
He's very shaved.
Hope you're doing well. And I was just going to ask, going off the quarterfinals and just your coaching in general, it doesn't strike me that you'd kind of go into the second leg just looking to hold onto the lead. I know you said to Tim you won't set up the exact same way, but I guess it would be fair to assume you'd still go to win the game.
We have to win the game. And for people that know me, I'm a little bit expansive at times too. I want to have the ball a lot. Again, it's going to be at this level when it's knockout, when there's a lot of emotion involved, when there's sometimes tactics thrown out the window because it is emotional. There's a lot of players focusing for 95 minutes. is not easy. It's not easy keeping your shape, keeping your space. So I think at this level, it's managing those moments of madness. I mean, there was a lot of discussion yesterday, especially from the French media, about Lyon, Manchester United the other night. I mean, I didn't see tactics there. I just saw two teams just going at it, punch for punch, and just was thrown out the window. It was just emotion. And that's what this team, Lyon, has the ability to do. They can contain the emotion when things get a little bit out of whack, and that's the important thing. That's the important thing.
Just on that, I guess for you personally, has that helped your coaching develop as well? Because I guess Lyon as an institution are used to being at this stage, and I don't think many other clubs are. So how has that kind of helped you develop as a coach?
A lot. Probably more on the leadership areas, more on the ability to understand big personalities and managing those persons. So my leadership is definitely, I think developed for good. But remember, I was 3 years at Juventus, and it was a different beast altogether. Where we'd come as the team that was 33rd in Europe to sort of compete at the top level, and that was a different sort of scenario. So all the experiences I've been fortunate enough to have given me little snippets of what to use to develop as a leader.
What you were saying from there, does it take a while for teams to build up that experience to succeed in European competition? They're not going to go.
Experience.
Clubs have got a competitive league, but they haven't done so yet.
Playing these games, I'm sure now Renée has experience in understanding a team that is at the top, dominating for 20 minutes, not scoring, then the game gets out of hand a little bit. So it's just experience. I don't want to say I've seen it all before, but I've seen these moments. All those I won't say it in Australian. Those finals against Chelsea that we lost in the Conti Cup and the FA Cup, all the bloody games they'd get away from me, and I couldn't work it out. I learnt now. I learnt those little bits and pieces, what to not worry about, what to not get emotional about, and what to grow. And that obviously festers in your players too. Your players get to understand those moments too. It's the experience of moments. It's the experience.
And with that experience, I mean, there's a lot of noise back in Australia about you possibly being next Matilda's coach. Is it easier to block all that out while you're focusing on this? Is it? Matilda's coach.
I have a semi-final next week. We have a game against Nantes during the week, which we want to use it to our advantage to make sure that we keep winning. And then we look at a semi-final now. The rumours are just rumours, and I'll leave the rumours to you guys because I know it's nice press.
Hi Joe, can I ask about your first goal today? Because it felt like Arsenal pressed quite aggressively for it, but you kind of were able to play around the press, at least made it look pretty easily. How impressive was the build-up for that first goal?
Well, it's probably one thing that I've kept as a coach. We do try to construct in the thirds. We do try to find the solutions in the thirds, and sometimes that solution is going direct with a direct pass. Look, we just felt that if we broke the first press of Arsenal and overloaded certain areas, we could get our wide players involved more centrally, not so much wide, because the fullbacks would have had to push on to our fullbacks. So yeah, we found the solution in the first goal. I like the second goal too. It was not a bad goal.
It was pretty good as well. And in your opinion, was Caitlin Ford lucky not to receive a second yellow card today?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what you're referring to because I can't remember. But look, as I said, there was a lot of emotion, a lot of little bits and pieces, and the referees. I think had a really tough job today. And I think they did quite well.
Joe, why did you choose Alice Sombat against Tassian? What do you think of her match?
I really like Alice. She's a very, very good professional, and I just felt for the defensive balance, for the knowledge that she has with Vanessa Gilles, and also with Selma Bachar. I felt that there was just more balance in what we were looking at. Tarsian probably needs a little bit more time just to understand the defensive concepts. So we felt that in this game we'd go with a little bit more security than probably a little bit of the unknown.
Hi Joe, I just wanted to ask you, your team generally throughout this competition has got one of the best defensive records. How did you feel about the defensive display here, and also what will your message be to them in terms of, we've seen how Arsenal keep fighting back every time they come up against kind of deficit in this contest, so what will your message be to them?
Look, I mean, you have to in these competitions have good defensive balance. You have to have good defensive scenarios, but we use a lot of the defensive balance to attack because we know we can find the spaces going forward quickly. So if we defend well, we know we'll be able to control the moment and we'll be able to attack. So a lot of work has been done in good defensive balance, but also the ability to find space going forward too. It's not just about defending and you defend and then it's over. So it works both ways from that perspective. Yeah, look, Arsenal. You're talking about Arsenal fighting back, about the ability. Yeah, look, I mean, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. This thing's not over. And as I said, when a team, probably. Maybe the pressure's been taken off Arsenal. Maybe, now they're 2-1 down. They're coming to Lyon. Whatever happens, happens. That's a dangerous scenario. And they're a good team.
Yeah, Joe, I wonder what it's like having Michelle Kang as the owner. So I noticed she came on to the pitch at the end, which is, for us, kind of unusual. You don't normally see that happening. So I wonder what she's been like as an owner for you.
Oh, look, I think there's been a lot written and a lot said about Michelle, and a lot of it's so positive and so fantastic. She's really, really there for the women's game, for the growth of the women's game as women's sport, and what we do every day is to really develop that in terms of training for female athletes. A lot of the sports science and the background that we do in terms of the study, research and development into female athletes is amazing, and even on the wellness and the psychological part. And that's what I love about her. She's there. She's really genuinely there for us to develop as a sport. She's hands-on. She loves coming and watching the games and seeing part of what we do. But here she's been absolutely fantastic for us.
And the second question was just a quick one about how you think the French League, which still isn't rising maybe as quickly as over here, in terms of crowds and everything like that, and stadium maybe. And I wonder how you think that could actually be fired up maybe.
I'm not an expert in how we can develop commercially and from a marketing perspective. I think one of the big advantages of the French League is that there's and France in general in football, both male and female, is an exporter and a developer of talent. So I think one of the really exciting things that I've seen is there's a lot of young talent that are being given opportunities in D1. A lot of clubs rely on that because they obviously don't have the resources and the means. So you're getting players that are 18, 19, 20 that have already played 30, 40, 50 games in D1, by the time they're 20. I think that's an advantage. It's probably a direction they need to take. But from the marketing side, to bring crowds like these scenarios, it's probably something I'm not sure what to do. Always the image of the game seems to be the one that I go back to. How does it look on television? How is it presented? How is it sold? I think, and like I've always said, the football has to be the winner. If the football's of high quality and the performances of high quality and there's a spectacle and good theatre, people will come and watch.
Did they get them to bring their dogs along last week or something, Terry?
Yeah, we have a major sponsor who is very important to us that's come up with this idea of bringing the dogs along to the stadium. We got a bigger crowd, no? Because there was 90 dogs, so it was 4,090 or 5,090 or something like that. Look, they're initiatives. I think there's a couple of really simple things in terms of scheduling the time that you schedule games. We play a lot of games at 9 o'clock at night. On a Sunday night, it's pretty hard for a family to come and watch a game. So there are some little things, but I don't want to get into the politics of all that because it's not my forte.
Hi, Joe. Are you expecting Wendy Renard to be fully fit for the next leg?
Yeah, look, we'll monitor Wendy this week and see how she goes. We had to err on the safe. I think it was probably too much of a risk today to take. But I feel that that there's been a lot of development over the last couple of days, which has been fantastic. And we'll assess it. And I'll be honest. I hope so. Yeah.
Hi, Joe. Ed Hegerberg comes off the bench, obviously, just after Arsenal scored that penalty. I mean, having a player of her experience, the involvement for the second goal, I think she drags Liam Williams in kind of that position, which creates that space for Melchi to obviously run into. I mean, to have a player of her experience to be able to come off the bench and make a difference in that moment, it feels a little bit like a luxury, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of the luxuries I've got at Lyon because we can change the moments of the game, we can change the situation of the game with the quality of talent that we're able to manage. Like I always say, these games are not about the starting 11. The starting 11 give you a certain phase to go with, and then the game can take another direction, and you've got to change things. But I think the beauty of our squad is that we can manage the moments as they happen, and you saw it with Arda. Arda was now stretched the line a little bit and allowed us to get out a little bit more, and the second goal was all credit to some great interplay. But we're very lucky to be able to. I'm very lucky to be able to change the moments when I need to.
Hi, Joe. Just a quick question on the intensity of the game, and obviously now you got a midweek game against FC Nantes. So will you have to rotate because the game like today players are really tired and so they can't really do another one like in 3 days and then the second leg?
We'll definitely use it. We'll definitely use it to prepare players for the weekend. Some of the players who didn't get any minutes today, perfect. We'll give them some time and get them ready for next Sunday's clash.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you guys again. All the best.